You asked me if I've ever considered or if I've ever tried the film industry. Well, let me tell you a story. um, in school, there was this man. I chose not to say his name because he's a big personnel. And he came to our school and then he told us he has something that he has planned of a story. Now the issue was the man came at 11. So we waited from 6 up to 11. He came and found the students. He came and found the students. Told them he came with one cameraman.
We've been involved in a couple of, I'd say, ridiculous projects. Case in point, we did a short film where we needed to crash a vehicle. So we bought a car and crashed it and burnt it.
You said you bought a car and then you crashed it and burnt it. See that car?
That is what the script required. Actually, everyone was getting back at us for doing so, but actually it was for the vision. It wasn't about burning the car.
You said it's all it requires is a vision.
Yeah, you just need the
I'm
vision.
envisioning myself with a car.
Amen.
No, but buy me a car. Buy me a car.
Yes, don't care.
Hi guys, hi, how are you? Welcome to yet an amazing episode of Passion Juice, where it's all about creative blend with me, your host Gladys Kazungu. So today we have a very special guest, a very special one. I don't even know where to start from, but I'm just excited to have him. He's a man of valor, and this man, to find him is very hard. It's very hard. So having him here is an honor. Honestly, it's an honor. In the building, or joining me is Waronja David. Hi, David.
Hello, hi.
So Waronja, sijui tuanze wapi?
Yeah.
Sijui nianze kupigia wapi?
Start from the beginning.
I start from the beginning. Yeah, before I say, he's a film director. He has been in the industry for more than 10 years. When most of us, we didn't even know if we are finishing school or not. But Mungu ni nani, we are settled here, we are together. Life has a way of humbling us.
True.
See, but anyway, thank you so much for coming here. Let's start from, where do we start from? Trees trials.
Extra trees trio, yeah.
Yeah. I saw it was nominated for Kenya, let me get the word, let me not get it wrong. My Story mobile phone film competition.
Yes.
I did my research.
Yes, you did your homework.
I did my homework.
Yes.
You produced it.
I wrote and directed, and Juguna Nganga did the producing part of it.
All right.
Yes.
So was it your first nomination? Was it your first?
Not really. We've been nominated in the previous years in the same competition, the My Kenya My Story competition. It's an annual film festival that involves filmmaking through mobile phone. So they figured out that to kind of like level the playground for filmmakers, they incentivized about making films in the simplest form, and that is using your phone. Like everyone has access to a phone, even if they don't necessarily have a phone, they have access to a mobile phone. And so they usually send out a call for films. They give you a theme. The very first one that we were nominated for was in 2019. for a film called The Loss.
The
We did
Loss.
a film called The Loss,
Yeah.
starring Matere and Eda Mungai, and it ended up winning. That was our very first nomination for any of our films,
Yeah.
and it was our first award ever.
How was it?
It was overwhelming. Actually, I remember me and Matere attending the gala night. We had no idea of, like, we were from the village, so we had no idea about how things, how you're supposed to behave at a gala, how you're supposed to dress, where you're supposed to sit. And I remember we sat at the back, and when they were announcing the winners, we were not even like paying attention because
Didn't even think it was you.
we thought that there was no way we could have been part of the winners, and as it turned out, we were the winners of the. It was the second edition. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we did another short film called Automedic for the 2020 edition, and also the film won. So we are two-time winners of the same competition. Yeah.
Wow. That is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. Did you do film industry? Like, did you really want to be in the film industry, or you had something in mind?
Growing up, I remember I was very fascinated about film credits. There are names that come at the end of every film. And I remember, like, when me and my family were watching, I was pretty young. And once the film would end, they would just walk away. Nobody was interested in knowing who are these people. And I found myself very interested to know who are these guys, who is the director, who is the camera operator, and all that. And like, something in me wanted to be among them, to have my name among the credit list. And as it turned out, later on in life, I found my way in the film industry, and now I find my name written all over the credits.
Personally, I never thought, like, that was never my specialties or ever wanting to be. I always looked at the actors. Mostly if you see, we are ladies,
Yes,
or
yes,
you're
yes,
human,
yes. The
we're
glam
humans,
that
you'll be
comes
like,
with-
oh, so this is,
Yeah.
okay, let me go inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, so you wanted to be in the industry, you've joined the industry. Well, what was your first project that made you evolve into being the director that you're right now?
To pedal back a bit, back then, starting off, you needed to join the Kenya National Theatre, and that is where I began my journey as a creative. I did traveling theatre for about 1.5 years. We used to do, like, set books where you go to schools in remote areas like Marsabit and do the stage performances for them. And later on, like, after a year, I got a casting call for a role, and I did my first film. So I started off as an actor. We did a feature film called Mad Love.
Yeah.
I played the role of a guy called Charles, and from there I started learning about the post-production part of filmmaking, and then I found myself venturing into post-production and also directing. Yeah.
Which one do you enjoy most? Being a director, being an actor, or being a story narrator?
Looking back, I think acting was a better career because it's much simpler. Right now, I'm an executive producer. I help run a company called One Film Pictures, and it's crazy putting together a single film. It's usually a very uphill task.
Can you imagine? How is the market dynamics when it comes? Because I've had a lot of directors and actors complaining about the film industry, mostly here in Kenya.
Yep.
It's not paying and it's not giving that much. How do you conduct your marketing dynamics?
I think the first part of making a film is understanding the market. If you don't have the market, then you don't really know how to navigate the hurdles that comes with the economics of it all.
Yeah.
For the most part, we find ourselves reverse engineering the entire process. Like, we know we need to make a film. The first questions that we ask ourselves is, where is this film going? And with that in mind, you're able to know, like, how are we going to approach it financially? Because if you invest a lot of money in a film, and the market that you're going to sell the film to, it's not gonna cut even the initial capital that you injected into the project, and usually that's where a lot of filmmakers fail. So the first thing is to learn and do a lot of research about the market, and also have talks, a lot of talks with film distributors. They're going to help you push your film into other markets that maybe you cannot reach, like the African market and even the global market.
Yeah.
So that is the first thing that you need to know as a filmmaker. You need to understand the business aspect part of it and the creative part of it. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh. Okay, mostly when we are talking about film,
Yeah.
and there's that time, like I said, film industry is quite underrated
Yep.
in Kenya, and sometimes it's hard to bring in change.
Yeah.
We were having a conversation with another director one time, and we were talking about the changes that our society don't try to embrace.
Yes.
You know, so how do you make your change and making your film to be unique at the same time? Because again, you're talking about marketing, you're talking about how you're doing your research and how you're conducting, how your audience wants
Yes.
such thing, but you want to also implement something unique and a change.
Yeah.
How do you maneuver around it?
Film has come a long way from
Yeah.
when we started. I remember we used to make 30-minute episodes, and we used to screen them at our local community center. Back then we used to do, like, what do you call them? We used to marshal up our cast and crew, and they would sell tickets to guys to come and watch.
Yeah.
And mind you, that was in the village, and we didn't have that kind of a culture where guys would go to cinemas from the village. That kind of culture was more prevalent in Nairobi. So from there, with the availability of internet, we were able to move from that kind of distribution for our content to now places like Mnet, places like YouTube, places like Instagram. We were able to harness the power of technology and how we are able to, like, reach a bigger audience, like the global audience, through the power of social media and other platforms like Showmax, like Netflix and all that. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Like, you know, if you know me, you know I love storytelling and I love drama.
Yeah.
So, your first project. I love listening to the first original mistakes.
Yes.
And where you're learning, because that's where people get inspired and people get to learn that it's not usually an easy journey. So how was your first project, your challenge that you experienced, and looking back at it, what did you learn from it?
Back then, I remember we were very new to filmmaking. Our methods of filmmaking were very unorthodox. I remember we never used to have scripts on set, so we used to, like, just show up, just have you don't even know how many guys are going to show up for today's filming.
Yeah.
And we used to come up with skits on the spot, and you're like, you're going to say this, you're going to say this, he's gonna say this, you're gonna have this kind of a drama.
Yeah.
So back then we didn't even know how to pace our scripts, which was very important. So guys used to, like, improvise. Like, you just have to improvise. Like, there are no lines, there are no directions per se. Looking back from those kind of works that we did, comparing them to now, because we right now you have to have a script. It has to be developed further. You have to have drafts of the scripts, and then you have to send them out before you even shoot. You have to send them out to guys who you can trust, and they'll give you honest feedbacks about their script. And then you're going to have workshops where they come, you have a sit-in, you have a read through the script with the cast, the crew, and maybe some other third parties who are going to, like, try to help you shape or carve the script to a specific place that you want the script to be.
Yeah.
So looking back, we've come a long way from improvising to now doing it the right way, like the industry standard way. Yeah.
Interesting. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you. I wanted to say, let me tell you mine. You know, the
Okay,
catchy
let me tell you
slogan.
mine,
Let me
yes.
tell you
Yeah.
mine. You asked me if I've ever considered or if I've ever tried the film industry. But let me tell you a story. um, in school, there was this man. I chose not to say his name because he's a big personnel. And he came to our school and then he told us he has something that he has planned of a story and he wanted us. He had done the auditions, we got in. The issue was, one, I don't want to say professionalism, but let me tell you.
Yeah.
So he didn't give us a script, he just told us what he wanted.
Yeah.
So we came up with our own script, what we'll say, how we'll plan, who are, because you already know
Yes.
who's the main, who's going to be the helping and everything. Hey, my lord. We came. The next, he told us on Monday you were doing rehearsals, and then on Tuesday.
At least you had rehearsals.
No, you just wait. Let me tell you.
Okay.
So on Monday we're having rehearsals, and then Tuesday we'll begin shooting from 6. We did the rehearsals. He never came.
He didn't show up. He was supposed to be the director.
He was everything. The director, the producer,
and the
and the
camera person.
scriptwriter. No. He
He had a crew.
He had appointed students.
Okay, to be okay. I get
Now
it.
the issue was when when Monday came, we did the rehearsals
Yeah.
on ourselves. Came up with our own script because he never gave us the script.
Yeah.
And now Tuesday, we came very early in the morning because the fire in you.
Yeah, you are about to venture into filmmaking.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
The
someone
excitement.
discovered
Yes.
I can act, and so the man came at 11, so we waited from 6 up to 11. He came and fired the students. He came and fired the students. Told them he came with one cameraman. I saw he came with one cameraman. And the shooting of angles and redoing a scene over and over again. And he came and changed the whole script. So he had his own script.
After missing the rehearsals.
And I swear, our script was way better. That man. And that's how I knew.
Trauma. Sorry about that.
That was heartbreaking.
Ole.
I felt it.
That is the industry for you. I think right now, just having the fundamental basics of filmmaking, you tend to work easier and a lot faster, because if he had a script, then all of you would have been on the same page. Like when it came to on the day of filming, the script is like the master. Like it's the one thing. It's like the blueprint of the entire operation. So you are able to know like who's supposed to do what. You're supposed to have call sheets. You're supposed to know when to start filming.
Yeah.
When to do this particular scene. Those are really important on a film set. Very important. I think if he had that, then you guys would have had a smooth sailing in the production.
I wish.
Yeah.
But moving on, we bless that man. At least he made me realize I can act.
I hope you moved from that type of filmmaking. I used to do that myself, but it's not the right way of doing things.
I see you.
Yeah,
I see you.
Yeah, starting
you
out.
You made us suffer.
Starting out. But at least for mine was more of a collaborative involvement, where you used to where you'd ask the cast, what do you want us to do for this particular episode?
Yeah.
What are you willing to do for this particular episode? And you let them be spontaneous and have their creativity run wild. Yeah.
Okay. I swear. We thank God.
You survived.
We survived.
You survived nonetheless.
No grudges. I'm holding nothing.
But you still remember, so.
Of course.
There's a hint of grudge in that. Just a tad.
I woke up early. I woke up early.
Your career was about to take off.
I had seen myself, in the spotlight. and
Sarah
Shiko
Hassan.
and
Oh,
Sarah Hassan.
yeah.
We were like this close.
Pole, pole,
And then whoosh,
pole, pole.
he killed my dreams.
You live, you survive to live another day.
But that was not funny.
Pole,
But regardless,
pole. Move on, irregardless.
so you talked about collaborations.
Yes.
And definitely, you being a director, and also you have people who are working with you and under you as well. How do you make sure that everyone is, their opinions are heard, and at the same time that you solving the problems, because there's always those problems that come up.
Yeah.
How do you maneuver around it? I think I'm using the word maneuver a lot. But
Navigate.
how do you solve your problems
Yeah.
that come, the challenges?
I think the first thing is to build a trusting team. That is the very first thing that you need to have. Like, you need to have people, you need to be surrounded by people who you trust, because their opinion is going to be, if their opinion is going to mean something, then it means that you trust them a lot. And also you know them, like, you know their creative approach to like every project. And also you need to put across the intentions of the project, because different projects come with different intentions, different approaches, different emotions. You need to, like, as a director and also as a scriptwriter, which I find myself being both in many projects, you need to like communicate your vision with the team. Like, they need to understand, so that their input, if somebody wants to like improvise on set, then you can allow that kind of spontaneity on set, because they understand the script. They are not like veering off from the vision. So you need to like, from a director standpoint, you need to communicate your script, you need to communicate your intention, you need to communicate like the approach that you're going to use, that you're going to take. In that way, you are able to build a team that is all-rounded and resourceful, because a lot of our sets, we work with mid-sized budgets, so you have to like have guys who are doing multiple things. Like, you will find the gaffer is also the electrician, he's also the best boy. You need to have guys who are very resourceful, otherwise you're going to spend a lot of money and sometimes end up not completing the project. Yeah.
All right. Talking about completing a project, and also we know you being in the industry requires you to be flexible.
Yes.
And adapting the on moving and on changing technology.
Yes.
Do you think, or have you been affected in a way with the changing technology, and how has it influenced you in your filmmaking?
Personally, with the emergence of AI, it has greatly contributed to my workflow and how I do things, especially with case in point ChatGPT. I have been finding myself using that tool in developing my stories, in coming up with the things we call pre-visualizations, where you make mood boards, storyboards, so that you can further communicate your vision with your team. Like, if you need to show like how the actor is supposed to move in the scene, you're able to pre-visualize that with the software, and you're able to now make a mock-up of how the scene is supposed to be blocked. So those tools, ChatGPT, Midjourney, you're able to create storyboards of different scenarios, which greatly help communicate your vision with your team, with the lighting department, with the costume department, and all that. And also, it has greatly improved my post-production workflow. Adobe, I'm actually moving a little bit from Adobe to DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah.
But Adobe has, with their latest update, they leveraged a lot on AI. They have things like generative fill, where you, like, if you framed a shot and like the boom like was popping pale juu, you're able to remove that with AI, and that kind of helps you with saving a lot of time and a lot of tedious repetitive processes. With things like audio cleaning, audio processing, AI has come a long way in enhancing the post-production experience, especially for me. Yeah.
Have you found it a bit challenging so far?
So far, it's getting easier. It's getting easier from where we used to. Kitambo used to edit on what we call Adobe.
Premiere.
No, Adobe Premiere. They had a suite CS something CS6, yeah. But now they have a Creative Cloud, which is very intuitive. It's easy to learn. It has a lot of inbuilt assistance. So I think it's easier, so to speak. It's easier for creatives right now to venture into different aspects of filmmaking, like animation, music production, color grading, and all that. Yeah, it has been easier compared to Kitambo.
There's always this one question I've always asked myself, but since you're here,
Yeah.
no, it's going to have a lot. But what does it require, or what does it take when building a film industry?
I think you just require a vision. I usually say part of my job is dreaming and making that dream a reality. That is what we do. You just have to have the vision. Without a vision, there's no way you can make a film, and without a film, there's no film industry per se. You just need to be a person who's very imaginative, who's very intentional about what they want to do, and also you have to be a person who's courageous enough to pursue what you've dreamt, like pursue your dreams. We've been involved in a couple of, I'd say, ridiculous projects. Case in point, we did a short film where we needed to crash a vehicle, so we bought a car and crashed it and burnt it. So that is a crazy project. That is a crazy vision. But if we dreamt about it, then we thought we needed to like visualize that and make that film. Yeah.
Mr. Beast, is that you?
Yeah. So yeah.
Because why would you buy me a car? I'm just saying. Just buy me a car.
It was a car by its own right, but it's not an expensive car. It's just an old car. But
it's fine. I just want a car.
Okay,
Guys,
okay.
support me.
Then tutakuingiza kwenye film industry and slowly you make your money. You'll buy your first car.
You said you bought a car and then you crashed it and burnt it. See that car?
That is what the script required. Actually, everyone was getting back at us for doing so, but actually it was for the vision. It wasn't about burning the car. It wasn't that we had money. Actually, we got a grant from Kenya Film Commission. So we got a grant, we bought the car, and we did the short film. Actually, it was for a short film, actually.
You said it's all it requires is a vision.
Yeah, you just need the vision.
I'm envisioning myself with a car.
Amen.
No, but buy me a car. Buy me a car.
You're stronger.
So, how you... That's a crazy idea. Which... Okay, it's fine. Let me take a moment to process.
To process it. Yeah, that is what the producer did when he first read the script.
Sorry.
Yeah, he thought he was reading it wrong, but that is what the script was all about.
I, the one who wrote the script, I salute you. Because where do you even get the strength? Very creative, very demure. But how do you differentiate, how do you differentiate artistic vision from commercial consideration?
Again, reverse engineering. You first need to understand the intentions and how much you can push as far as the finances of a project is concerned. For the most part, we've been writing and producing for our projects, so we are able to write for the budget. That is very important. We need to come up with a tentative budget in mind and then write for that particular budget. And also even for our casting, you hardly find any casting calls for our productions because we usually write for specific people who we know they are going to give us this kind of range, this kind of character. And so with that, we are able to cut a lot of costs in setting up auditions,
Yeah.
and also spending time on doing the casting and all of that. So everything boils down to understanding the entire process first, and especially the end, and then you are able to work backwards. That way you're able to like take care of the commercial aspect of the film, and also take care of the creative approach of the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You mentioned, or yeah, we know. You mentioned that you are a script writer.
Yes.
Where do you get your inspiration when you're writing? Because, okay, for me, I write stories.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
from random people. Like I can just sit from in a metro, and then I'll see someone staring in or anything, and then I'll try to create a scenario
Yeah.
in my head, being the Lulu. So what inspires your stories?
Everyone have different approaches, creative approaches when it comes
Yeah.
to writing. For me personally, one is we've shot a lot of short films for competitions and festivals, and usually what they do, they give out a call, they give you a theme about what they want you to make a film about, and from there I start like brainstorming, like I start my thought process about that kind of approach. And one of the things that we do is do research and try to think about the other guys who are going to be we are going to be competing against.
Yeah.
And we try to eliminate like different ideas. We usually have a whiteboard in the studio, so that is where we like brain dump our ideas, and then we narrow down to one specific unique story, and then from there it's up to me to go home and do a script. So it's usually the first thing is to do research. Like for example, when we did the short film for the My Kenya My Story, when they made the call, our first thing was to go online and look for the previous editions and see what people were doing,
Yeah.
and see where the bar was, and try to do better. That is what that is our creative approach, and then from there we write a script. Usually the ideas, I do not find the ideas, but the ideas find me. I usually we tend to shoot our short films like a day before the deadline. That is when like the inspiration kicks in, and you come up with a script on the spot and you write it, and you feel like you're very convicted that this is a killer script. I remember when you did Automedic, it was we shot it in 2020, at the height of COVID actually, and around that time I was consuming a lot of Western content. I remember in 2019, that is when a film called 1917 first came out. It follows the story of two British soldiers who were sent out to save their brother. One of the soldiers' brother was in another place, and so they needed to like go and tell them, you guys are walking into an ambush, you're gonna be killed, so don't continue with the operation.
Yeah.
So the short film had a very unique cinematography style. It's what we call a wana. It means it's a one continuous take from like the beginning of the film to the end. And I think it was a 2-hour long film. It was shot by a cinematographer called Roger Dickens. And so I was very much inspired to try out that. And so I incorporated that kind of cinematography into my story. And we had like a day to the deadline. And what the short film required was to do an entire 5-minute scene without cutting. Yeah. So
Wow.
we did around 168 takes before we got the perfect one. Yeah. So that was our big break into the quote unquote professional filmmaking world, because that film went out and won the My Kenya My Story mobile phone film competition in 2020. It has gone to win a lot of awards around the world. Yeah.
Interesting. Talking about Western movies,
Yeah.
you've been in the industry for a long time, and you see a lot of our content is usually almost similar. We are like too comfortable and too.
What do you mean
No,
similar?
no, I'm not saying in that way. I'm just saying that, like I said, a lot of people don't love change.
Yes.
For our society,
yeah.
there's this mentality. If it's a movie, it's supposed to be like this. Mostly, the most movies that are like incorporated here in Kenya is mostly rom-com or comedy. But when you're talking about for a long thrillers or having series and stuff,
Yeah.
why do you think that? Because I'm pretty sure you also you have always, maybe you have tried,
Yeah.
and you have seen, and you have, maybe, I don't know, but why do you categorize Kenyan film as per se right now?
I think it's growing. We've seen very different films coming out. Films like very bold and daring films talking about very sensitive topics. We have films like Kati Kati. We have films like Nairobi Half-Life. We have films like 40 Sticks, which is a horror thriller. It's available on Netflix. We have films like, there's this film that Soul Boy. I think I watched it last week and it was very interesting. Like we have films that are standing out from the crowd. But in the defense of the other filmmakers who are doing like quote unquote similar films, I think it is attributed to playing safe from a business standpoint. It's very risky for your business, especially if you have a production company and you want to try out a different genre, a different style. It's very risky, and of course with when it comes to trying out something different, there's actually it's not a short film, a series coming out. It's called Subterranea by Likarion Wainaina. It's a whole different, like it's super different from the norm. Yeah. So with that, I'm pretty sure it took him a lot of time to convince the studios to make that kind of a film, because usually it's a huge risk. It may flop, and of course, when you talk about a movie flopping, it means you've burnt a lot of money, you've spent a lot of money, and there are no returns. Yeah. So I think it's the producers are trying to like play safe. You need to like make back the money that you spent. Yeah. So there's a give and take. There's a give and take. But if you're doing it for the passion, especially for me, we've been doing it for the longest time, doing it for passion, then there's no price in that. So we've had crazy films. I think there's one where we had a guy hanging on a cross.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, we've had one where we flipped a car upside down and we had a lady trapped in the car, quote unquote. Yeah, so with that, we like personally, I find myself I'm making the executive decisions. So there's really no much of trying to deliberate with the studio, because like, I'm only supposed to talk to my business partner and talk to him about the vision, and for the most part he's always been on board with the crazy ideas and doing things differently. But once you start to venture into commercial aspect of filmmaking, like now you have another studio involved, you have another entity giving you money. They need to understand how much are you going to spend, how much are we going to make from this kind of a project. And so you need to really convince them that you're going to spend their money right and you're going to give them their return in investment.
But again, you guys are the ones who introduced us to
Different.
You know, like you're the ones who
Different.
started this. But
For the most part, it's expensive. It's expensive. Trying out different genres, it comes with a lot of monetary costs.
okay, but again, I feel that, you know, once we get too comfortable around something for too long, it gets boring.
True.
No offense, but you know, like we already have a picture of how it's going to end.
Yes.
it's going to be like the other one
Yeah.
you've just watched. You're going to switch a little bit, you know. But you've talked about passion, and you have been in the industry for a long time.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that you remain creative and remain relevant?
They say you are as good as your last performance, so I usually judge my next projects from my previous ones, and if I feel that the project is not exciting as the previous one, then I know that I'm not doing enough. So we've always raised the bar with our projects, and yeah, I think the other thing is from watching a lot of films. I'm always glued to different platforms, watching especially different Kenyan content. Yeah, newest Kenyan content, and with that I'm able to know like where we are, what the audience are consuming more,
Yeah.
what is missing, and with that we're able to know where to place ourselves.
Um, right now, we, like in our generation, we are usually, it's called what? We go with trends.
Yes.
No. So right now, most of us, the youths, prefer watching maybe a UK
Yeah.
related movie, and that's how similar. It's kind of affecting our Kenyan films.
Yeah.
How do you manage, or how do you maneuver around the trends and the current consumer behavior? How do you make sure that your film will be generalized and balanced in a way that you don't want to be risky,
Yeah.
but at the same time you want to make sure that we are satisfied, we as the audience?
I am personally, we've been doing a lot of short films that we feel they are timeless in a way, and it's not that we don't like making content that is trendy. We would want to make a lot of money making content that is trendy, but that is not like where we are mentally. I believe that the tides are shifting with the whole Gen Z revolution and movement. So I'm actually looking into that kind of market where we are creating content for the Gen Z. But as much as we are uh, gearing towards that, we do not want to necessarily lose our voice, lose our originality, and so it's more of research and trying to strike a balance between being moving with the time and also making timeless
Yeah.
content that is going to be there for a long time and resonate with people who are like the current generation and the generations to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I have so many questions, and yeah, you're answering most of them. You've answered way more.
Yeah.
But let's look at you, Waronja,
Yeah.
in person.
Yes.
Have you ever considered that venturing into maybe a series or like documentaries, different genre?
Yes. Actually, we have a documentary coming out. It's called The Running Shush. It talks about the story of one marathoner. She's a 66-year-old marathoner called Karon Duta. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so watch out for that. It's coming out soon. So we've been doing documentaries and also series, but for the most part, it's for third parties. Like most of them are commissioned. We have a series that is running on NTV right now called Shujazra. It's for a company called Shujaz. I don't know whether you've heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a series that talks about young people venturing into businesses, relationship, as sexual health sexual and reproductive health. Yeah, basically inaongea kuhusu my youth. Yeah, so we have that. So we are not shying away from making series. We are just doing that, but that is for commissioned work. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. You have any more projects that you would love to show us?
Yes. We are working on our very own feature film. So watch out for that project. It's not commissioned, so it's going to be fully made by One Film Pictures. I'm going to be at the center of it, hopefully writing and also directing. Yeah, so watch out for that. It's going to be big.
Well, you better watch out for it. I feel like switching up
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
We are going to have like a game before we get back to more questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
I hope I'm ready.
You hope you're ready?
Yes.
I promise I'll take it easy on you.
Okay.
I swear.
Okay. Let's see.
Question number 1.
Uh-huh.
What is the name of the popular Kenyan film festival that showcases local and international
Kalasha.
films? That was easy. It's not
easy.
fair. It's not fair. All right. How would you describe David Waronja in one word?
Creator.
All right. Okay. Which movie best describes your life and why?
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Why?
Because my life is everything, everywhere, all at once. It's the same. It's right there in the title. Yeah, I love that film. It came out last year. It won a couple of Oscars. Go watch it. Go watch that film. It's dope. It's dope. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Our next question. What is the term used to describe the unique Kenyan film style that blends local cultures and modern cinematic techniques? What is the term used to describe the unique Kenyan film style that blends local culture with modern cinematic techniques?
Is there a hint? You lost me at Kenyan. It's very specific to Kenyan films that blend tradition, blend culture,
Local culture
local culture,
with
and
modern
modern cinematography.
cinematic techniques.
I have no idea.
Pay me.
How much?
I want that car.
How much?
I want
The
that-
car is
I
long
want-
gone. It's burnt. We burnt it.
And I want a car.
What's the answer? Let's hear the answer first.
So,
I'm a
I'll
hint.
give you a hint.
Yeah.
Right? Niger and Movis.
Oh,
That is one.
Afro cinema.
How do they call it?
Oh,
we
it's
have
now the Kenyan
Bollywood.
one. Riverwood. Kenyan is called Riverwood, if I'm not wrong.
I'm giving you the hint.
So there's Afro cinema,
There's
Niger movie, Niger.
we have Bollywood, but in Nigeria,
Yes.
how do you call it?
In Nigeria, we call it what do you call it in Nigeria? Nollywood.
Great, Nollywood.
Uh-huh.
And then the
Oh,
other.
I've gotten the answer.
That one, yes.
Oh, okay.
That is the one word.
Oh, Nollywood. Okay.
The second word
Uh-huh.
is fashion. Something dealing with fashion. When I am styling a fashion, when I'm coming up with a creative look, what am I doing? Okay, the other word. We had a fashion stylist. What is her work? I'm giving you like the direct clues. What is the work of
What is the work of a stylist? Costuming.
I give up.
Creating costumes. Outfits. I'm getting worse. I give up.
The car deal. I give it. It's an easy name. Like it's an easy word. We make a
It's
deal.
Swahili.
No.
It's English.
Yes.
That defines Kenyan style of fusing culture and modern cinematography. Nollywood. Also, you said Nollywood is close.
Yeah.
Bollywood, and it's not
I
Riverwood.
actually told you it's Nollywood. You got the Nollywood part.
Then what's the question?
The other one is, it's a 2-word.
Uh-huh.
It's Nollywood something.
Nollywood.
Yes.
Nollywood something. Nollywood.
You deal or no deal?
Kwanza niambie ndio nione.
Nene ile ni ya bahasha, besa kana bahasha.
Besha. Bahasa. Besha. Hakuna pesa.
So it's a Nollywood style. And you said style, but again you name.
It's called Nollywood style.
Nollywood style.
I've never
Or
heard of that combination before.
Or Kenyan new wave, sorry. Kenyan new wave.
Hey,
But
you
the
are that
simpler
hapa
one is-
for 10 days. I
You
wouldn't have
said
gotten
style. You said style.
Nollywood style.
But I was
Now
like,
I know.
no,
You live,
no,
you learn. You live, you learn. You learn every day.
I was like,
You learn every day. Every
so
day.
amechagua bahasha. Bahasha inakujanga ikiwa nono.
Inaweza kuwa na pesa, inaweza kuwa ina anything, inaweza kuwa na kiagari, inaweza kuwa na mwiko.
We are being typical Kikuyus.
Yeah, bahasha inaweza kuwa na mwiko.
Bahasha. Which Kenyan film won the best foreign language film award at the 2023 Oscars?
It won. Am I nominated?
Won.
At that
2023
Bangarang.
Oscars.
I think it was nominated. Not any of Kenyan films have won anything at the Oscars. At the 2023. I'm thinking Bangarang.
Actually, when you were talking, you said you mentioned.
Oh, I mentioned. Okay. Katikati?
No.
Katikati wasn't in 2023. 40 Sticks?
No. Bahasha mbili.
Give me a hint. Give me the first letter.
Where are you right now?
Then, where is this?
No, like which county?
Kiambu.
Mashada is in Kiambu.
Yes.
The clue has gone.
Medicine Man.
The clue has gone. Wait.
Which movies came out last year? Medicine Man, Bangarang. Bangarang was last year, I think so.
Should I repeat the question?
Yeah, which movie?
Which Kenyan film won the best foreign language film award
At the Oscars.
at the 2023 Oscars?
At the Oscars, it won.
Yes.
What movie was
Besa kana bahasha.
it? What movie was it?
Besha kana bahasha.
It won, Ama, it was nominated.
Won.
It won.
Yes.
Which movie was it?
Nairobi Half-Life.
It did.
Did.
Last year.
Yes.
Oh.
Bahasha mbili zilikuwa zimejaa pesa. You
Okay.
film director here.
I could be wrong, but I think one of the qualifications for an entry is that the movie has to be made within a specific time period. Yeah. I don't know, maybe.
I also don't know.
So I don't see how Nairobi Half-Life came out like a decade ago and it won an Oscar last year. So I don't know. CG.
But bahasha mbili. Deal.
Hizo ni
Shake,
mbili.
shake,
Hizo
shake.
ni mbili. Bahasha utapata.
Kameramani,
Bahasha
you're my
atapata.
witness.
Kwenye iko ndani, it's not my fault. It's for you to find out. Yeah.
What? What?
But the questions are over.
Yeah, the questions. I'm taking
I
a.
got
I'm taking.
4 out of 5.
Yes, you got 4 to 5. Yay.
But okay. Son.
Man. Okay, so back to the questions. We are back.
Yeah.
Wechangamka, the spice.
Yes.
Alright. Okay, so what advice would you tell a new filmmaker who is trying to find the unique voice in a saturated market?
One of the beauties of our industry is you don't really have to go to school to learn. Like I didn't go to school to learn. but if you get a chance to go to school, that is a plus, that is an added advantage. The qualifications of becoming a filmmaker is you just have to make a film. And once you've made your first film, automatically, congratulations, you've become a filmmaker. And one of the things that I've had to learn is if you want to be a good filmmaker is you need to understand the entire process. You need to know what is involved in the development of a concept, to producing a film, to directing a film, doing the cinematography, what an editor does, what post-production means, and most importantly, distribution. That is like the backbone of the entire process. Like if you don't know where you're going to take your film, then it's not worth making it. So you need to understand the dynamics of the market. You need to understand how the audience is shifting and how to, you know, keep an audience glued to your content. That is very important as you're becoming a filmmaker. The other thing is to be passionate about it, and also to be truthful and honest about your films. Don't write about things you do not know. Just start with things you know. Start writing about your next door neighbor who you've grown up seeing, how he behaves, how he talks. Try to write an interesting scenario about what goes around in your village, what you're thinking about. Try to, you know, put down a lot of thoughts into, you know, a journal if you can. Try to write as many different scripts as you can. Try to read a lot of scripts and try to watch a lot of behind the scenes and try to learn about the entire film making process. If you want to become a director, it doesn't hurt if you know about editing. It doesn't hurt if you know about cinematography. It doesn't hurt if you know about lighting. That helps you have a language with the other person. Like if you're talking to your gaffer, you will over the time develop a language to be able to effectively communicate with the gaffer. If you know a bit of editing, then you will be able to build a language with your editor, and with that you are able to easily communicate what you want to see in the cut. So learn the entire process. It doesn't hurt. Make your first film. Grab your phone, grab your camera, just make a film. Yeah.
How do you make sure you don't lose yourself in the midst of it all?
Yes, that's a very good question. That is a very good question. I think it comes from meditating and also being in tune with yourself. As I said earlier, it is important to seek out advice, to like workshop your scripts, and most of the time you're going to have feedback that is going to, like, in one way or another, lead you away from your initial vision. So you need to be in tune with what you feel and what you believe in. It has to start with you, like, and also don't ask for opinions from people who you might not necessarily do not necessarily like their work. Like if you don't like this person's work, then you don't like my work, then don't send me your script for me to analyze or give critique or give feedback. I might end up like giving you a negative feedback, and you will be like, he doesn't even understand, I don't even like his work. You end up being frustrated, or you end up changing your initial vision so that you can accommodate me. But you see, I'm just one person. You're making a film for your audience. So the first thing is to be truthful to you, and also to know like where you stand, like mentally. Like if you're going to write a film about a certain disability, you need to, like, the entire time you need to, like, your mental space should be gravitating towards that kind of content, that kind of subject. You interact with those kind of people and watch a lot of content that is in line with that kind of a subject. So you need to do a lot of research. You need to be truthful to yourself. You need to know who you are. You need to find your voice. That is the most important thing. There are a lot of times that I send out my work or my scripts, or whenever we like screen our work, and you hear people say that it has Waronja's voice, and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. But I think it's a certain level of consistency that people tend to see in your work that gives it a certain look and feel, and it attracts an organic crowd. So it's very important to keep your voice in all of your projects. As much as you would want to accommodate other people, as much as you'd want to receive feedback, analysis from other people, it's very important to be grounded and to be centered in the project and have your voice to be prevalent and to be the one thing that sets your project apart from the rest.
You talked about sticking to your vision, and when you're starting up, you had that principle,
Yep.
and you wanted to stick with it. How do you make sure that you remain original to your principles and not get affected with money pressures
Yes, yes.
and also the trends? Like, because we know people get lost in between.
Yes. From the onset, like when we started the company, we had visions and we had objectives and we have targets. We have both short term and long term. And with those, you are able to know there's one thing that I learned is it's easy to move from point A to B. But if you don't have a destination, it's easy for you to drift anywhere. So one of the things that we've done is to have both long-term and short-term goals that we try to hit each day. And with that, we are able to be fixated. We are able to set our trajectory to a certain goal. Without a goal, then you don't even know where you're going. You'll tend to lose your focus somewhere along the way. So have vision, have goals, have targets. Like they could be daily, they could be monthly, they could be weekly. Just have them, and they form like a piece of the entire puzzle, the bigger picture. So work on each thing like day by day, and with that you won't lose your way. But if you don't have targets, if you don't know what you want, if you don't know what you're working towards, then your journey has no destination. So you don't even know when you arrived there, when you got there. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in the industry? Like in few years to come.
That question gets me all the time because I don't even know where I wanted to be last year, and it's usually a surprise. So I tend to keep a blank check and have life take its course and live like every day a day at a time. But nonetheless, in a few years to come, I want to make big movies, make reality TV shows and all of that. So I want to be like one of the biggest filmmakers in the country and in the region.
Do you have someone you're looking up to?
Yeah, I have God.
You have God. My uncle,
Yeah.
I have this uncle who loves saying Gai Bere.
Guy Bere. That
Bere.
is true. That is true. That is paramount.
True,
Yes.
true. But anyway, do you have maybe one lesson that has made you who you are right
Yeah.
now, and that you would love to share with?
Yes, one of the things that I've learned over the years in the industry is to be grateful and to live a purposeful life, and to be good, to do good to other people. That is the one thing that I strive for, to be to be a good person. Yeah, that is the one thing that I know that is going to give you value. Like if people value you for who you are and not what you have or what you're going to give them, then you're going to live a more fulfilling life, more like giving back to community, giving back to people and investing in people. It's something that I've learned that is of great help to you as a person, and it makes you a better person every day. Like every time you help out another person, it makes you a better person. Yeah.
Take home before we wrap up.
I don't know. I think I've exhausted all my parting shots. But again, if there's someone out there who wants to become a filmmaker, just become a filmmaker and just become the best version of yourself and be truthful to you and be honest and make films that you are going to love. That is the one thing that I do. I make films that I am going to want to watch. As I said earlier, I'm always keen to look at what is available in the market, and I'm always keen to see something missing in the market, and that is where I move and try to make films that will fit a specific niche or crowd of people.
Interesting. Well, you had Waronja. I don't even know where to add or what more to say. But maybe you have you want to share your social media platforms. Maybe someone wants to reach out, and maybe someone feels inspired or wants to be mentored. Do you mentor?
I don't mentor people per se, but I talk to people about filmmaking. It's always an honor even to be here and to talk about filmmaking. I'm always at home. I'm always delighted to talk about filmmaking because it's something that I love. That it's something that is a huge part of me. So my social media, it's at David Waronja across all platforms. Apart from TikTok, I'm not on TikTok.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm here talking about harnessing the power of technology, but I'm not on TikTok per se.
You don't want to.
Yeah, but
create
I'm
content?
on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, X, yeah, and LinkedIn, yeah. So it's at David Waronja everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And should do it. We would love to see you.
Tufungue, eh?
Maybe unaweza kuwa dancer and we don't even know.
I used to be a dancer actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, I used to dance in easy VCD. Do you know what a VCD is?
I think so.
You do. You know what a DVD is?
I know a DVD.
There was another version, the smaller version, a cheaper version, smaller version in terms of capacity called VCDs, and musicians used to like sell those for 100 pop.
The CDs.
Yeah.
The CDs.
Yeah, CDs, yes. So I used to like dance in the music videos and
For it.
get tunes,
Gospel
yeah.
or secular.
Gospel, of course.
Why are you saying
I was
me?
in
I'm
church.
not-
I was in church. I wasn't like mixing.
I'm only asking
Wasn't
you
a
to
vixen.
check if you were going Mondoko, you know?
No, moves za kitambo zilikuwa zile helicopter, mosquito, nini. Yeah, so I'm a good dancer. Maybe I should open an account.
Maybe it could
Yeah.
be the next Mayor David.
You never
know?
know. You never know.
You should think about it.
I will.
Well, guys, that is all we had for you here at Fashion Juice. Make sure you tune in for the next episode. But until then, I've been your host, Gladys Kazungu.